Good morning. Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain call. So grain markets are lower and most commodity prices are lower. Kind of a risk-off day with concern that maybe the Fed will continue to increase interest rates, and these higher rates would eventually push U.S. into a recession late in 2023 or early 2024. We also had some bank earnings that came out lower than some had expected. And that continues to offer some resistance into the stock market, support the dollar, and we also are concerned about demand for energy globally, which is weighing on crude oil. Soybean market continues to bounce, at least reject the $15 level on nearby soybeans. We're looking for export sales today somewhere between 200 and 400,000 tons. Brazil still has lower prices, especially to China, and they're continuing to find problems as their harvest winds down for storage for the bean crop, and farmers are selling, which just adds pressure to the bean export price in Brazil. Over in the corn, maybe some sell-off. Yesterday there was some talk that maybe there might be a plan to transit Ukraine grain into Europe without having it go into key countries that are protesting these imports. We also noted that there was talk about some vessel movement in the Black Sea. I think in reality there was no vessels moved. There's like 27 vessels sitting there inbound waiting to be inspected and 43 outbound that's waiting to be inspected. And again, it's mostly just talk as far as Ukraine grain going into Europe, but still it offered resistance to the marketplace. Still wet and cool across most of the Midwest, which probably will delay some of the planting of the early corn crop. Export sales expected somewhere between 600 and 900,000 tons, and again, a bigger number would offer some support, but despite the drop in futures, we continue to see inverses in the futures, and also cash basis remains strong due to tight supplies. Over in the wheat, taking weather premium off as the European model shows rain next week across most of the southern plains. I think the models might be a little bit too wet, but everybody's going to get a little bit of a drink next week, which is very well needed. It was interesting yesterday that the Russian ag minister in a meeting suggested their 2023 wheat crop could be only 78 million tons. That's kind of an interesting number because most private groups were using somewhere around 84, 86 million tons versus this year's 92. And he's talked about crop being lower because of yield. So far the weather's been pretty favorable, so not understanding why they're at that low of a crop. So rain in the southern plains is offering resistance to the marketplace. Wheat could not push through key resistance a couple of days ago. Now it's testing support.